and thank you for clicking on today's video. As you can tell from the chaos that is behind me, it is time to pack. You can also probably tell by the title and the reason you clicked on this video. But today I'm going to be sharing some personal item only travel tips with you. I'm going to be fitting everything I need for a 2 to 3 week trip into this backpack and nothing else. And I wanted to share some of my tips with you, mostly because I feel like a lot of people who go personal item only, they tend to pack like the bare bones, where they don't bring any toiletries really, they don't bring any makeup really, their clothes are mostly just black and gray and like really utilitarian clothes like leggings and parkas and boots, whereas I don't travel like that at all. If you want a little bit more information about the specific items that I'm packing, I did do a 2-part series about what I'm packing for this trip and also some of the circumstances surrounding this trip. I did a part 1 where I talked about all the clothing I'm bringing and why I pack the way I do with regards to clothing. And then I did a second part where I talked about all of the toiletries and literally everything else that's going to be fitting into that bag, and also how and why I pack those things. So today is just about tips. Those 2 videos will be linked down below if you're interested in that information and knowledge. But let's go ahead and get into some of my personal item only traveling. So you might be wondering why somebody would even want to travel personal item only. And for those who don't know, a personal item is an item that can fit underneath the seat in front of you on an airplane. And there's 2 reasons. Number 1, a lot of airlines have started charging for an additional carry-on item that doesn't fit underneath the seat in front of you, which is crazy, but it happens. And number 2 is just ease of travel. It's far easier to travel like this than it is with a backpack and a rolly suitcase. It also makes you look like less of a target because you have less that's worth stealing in the event that you sort of come up on that during your travels. So tip number 1 is to wear your bulkiest items on the plane. The room in your bag is going to be so precious, and if you can wear your biggest items on the plane, that really does save you quite a lot of space. So what I'll be wearing on the plane is actually 2 of my sort of sweaters, and then also my denim jacket, in addition to some other t-shirt and leggings. But if you can wear your bulkiest items on the plane, they don't charge you for anything that you're wearing, so it definitely helps free up some space in that regard. Going off the back of that exact same tip is to wear your bulkiest shoes on the plane. A lot of people who travel backpack only bring 1 pair of shoes, and then this option is basically moot because you're going to be wearing the 1 pair of shoes you're bringing. But me, I like to look and feel a little bit more stylish while I'm traveling, so I typically travel with 2 pairs of shoes. Shoes are also very utilitarian, so a lot of people travel with more than just 1 pair of sneakers to go with all of their outfits. So I'm going to be wearing these. These are my bulkiest pair of shoes that I'm going to be packing for this trip, and I'll be wearing those on the plane, even though they don't exactly go with the outfit, but you're just on a plane, so who really cares? Tip number 2, I'm sure you have heard before, but that is to roll your clothes in order for them to take up less space in your bag. But something that I think a lot of people don't talk about when talking about rolling your clothes is how they can sometimes get wrinkled when you do that, especially if you're stuffing them into a backpack. So what I always recommend for people is to pre-steam or pre-iron your clothes before you fold them and pack them, because then they're gonna get less wrinkles and also less deep set wrinkles, and overall be easier to steam or iron in your location. Sometimes you're not even allotted a steamer or an iron in your location, so you have to sort of like hang them in the shower and hope that the steam from the shower is enough to de-wrinkle them. But the less deep set wrinkles they have, the more likely those types of little travel hacks for steaming and ironing your clothes are going to work. So I always pre-steam before I fold, roll, and pack. Tip number 3, if you're anything like me, I prefer to pack in a backpack that's just sort of like one big pouch. I prefer to organize with my own bags versus being allotted spaces to organize within the bag. Everybody's different. My husband prefers a bag with all of the pouches already available so he doesn't have to think about it, but I prefer to organize via pouches. So I have pouches for everything. This is electronics, this is medication, this is my liquids bag, which is put in this clear bag for TSA approval, and this is my makeup. And just having it separated not only helps it kind of fit into the bag easier when you're trying to play Tetris, but it's also just more organized so you can kind of get to what you need to a lot quicker. The next tip on my list is sort of multifaceted, and that is to consider accessories. One of my favorite accessories to bring traveling is a scarf because it takes up far less space than an additional outfit would, but just adding a scarf to an outfit that you wore the previous day can make it look entirely different. If you bring 2 to 3 scarves, you can have many, many more outfit combinations than if you weren't bringing multiple scarves. And additionally, depending upon where you're traveling, a scarf might be a necessity to either cover your shoulders or cover your head when you're entering a church or other religious areas, depending upon your gender and also where you're traveling. So I typically bring 1 to 2 scarves that kind of go with everything, and I'll put them around myself. I'll also tie them on my purse, whatever it may be. Scarves and other accessories can be a very small way to change up an outfit and also add room into your bag. The next tip is to consider what you can wear on your person. Like I mentioned in tip number 1, wearing a lot of your stuff onto the plane, but also what you can tie on the outside of your bag. A lot of times there's places on the outside of a backpack to tie on shoes. What I do a lot of the time is I'll also tie my secondary scarf on the outside of my backpack, and the airlines tends to not count that as an additional item. So if you run out of room inside your bag, just know there is a little bit of room on the outside where you can tie things on. I think if you were to tie on a lot of stuff to the outside of the bag, the airline might stop you at the gate, but I will say I almost always tie a few things onto the outside of my bag, and I, knock on wood, have never been stopped via the airlines, and it's always worked out pretty okay for me. So that's another tip for you that I think a lot of people don't always consider. If you're interested in more tips, like I said before this video, I do have an entire video dedicated to all of the stuff that I packed that was not clothing related, and also all of the stuff I packed clothing related. I also recently posted a spring and summer capsule wardrobe lookbook. My capsule wardrobes always have color in them, and I built many outfits with just 16 pieces of clothing. So if you're looking for inspiration on like how to have a minimal travel ready outfit combo, that could also be a good source of information for you. So I'm gonna leave all 3 of those videos linked down below. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you're not already. I am very close at the time of filming this to my first major milestone here on YouTube, which is 1,000 subscribers. So if you like my vibe and you're not subscribed, please do. And with all of that being said, I'll see you next week. Bye. This is a bonus tip if you've stuck through to the end, but I almost always actually do bring a second bag. Again, knock on wood, that I don't get screwed. But I've almost always snuck a second bag on the flight, whether it's me bringing a bag that looks like it's just filled with stuff that I bought duty-free in the airport. That sometimes works. Sometimes what also works is like hiding it somewhere in my clothing. What I'm gonna be doing this trip, because I do have just a few things where it would be better, it can all fit if it needs to, but it would be better organized if it could fit into this bag plus my backpack. So here's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna show you as a reward for watching to the end of the video. In this scenario, we're pretending that I'm wearing my sweater, okay? Then, you can get through TSA with as much shit as you want, unless you're flying United. It's at the airport when you're scanning your ticket to board the flight that you have to be sort of cognizant about this. So I'm gonna choke myself out with my purse. And then, okay, so there's my purse. Let me back this up a bit. Okay, so I'm choking myself out with my purse. Then you put your backpack over top, okay? And because it's black and black, it sort of blends together. You just sort of scan your ticket and then like walk as quick as you can into the terminal. But to cover me choking myself out with my purse, I'll just cover that with a scarf. And then I wouldn't have this pink thing on here because that obviously would show, but you just sort of fashion it like that, right? And it just looks like one bag. So that's uncomfortable. but it's what I'm gonna be doing for this particular trip. Again, just for organization. If they catch me, I could slam everything I needed to into this backpack and also give some stuff to my husband. But that's a little trick from me to you for traveling. So there you go.